Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are listening to Whissel Weekends on AM 1170. The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty. Joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans. Go ahead.
And something special.
Something special?
Something special.
Are you about to be a grandpa?
Oh, man. I probably am. Right? No, but I'm just saying something special because we have a special guest. So little shout out here. I want you to introduce the guest, Kyle.
So also in studio, we have got the mayor of the city of Santee, Mr. John Minto, in studio with us. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Kyle. Good to see you too, Jason. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I look forward to you coming in because this is kind of like almost a state of the city speech when you get to come in here. We get honored with your presence every quarter, every few months or so. So it's good to see you in here. We are excited to get some updates on some of the stuff we've talked about on the show. Some of the things that we are going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Carl Strauss Brewery and what's going on with that, the movie theater, Bonita Ranch, the 52 freeway, and a $1 billion project.
I just got goosebumps when you said $1 billion.
$1 billion bucks. Like, what cost $1 billion? Stadiums and what else? I don't know. I'm excited to hear about it today.
I am too. I'm excited, but you know what? 1170 started in Santee. We've talked about this a few times.
Right. Yeah.
Mayor Minto and Kyle. And you've got Kyle, of course, one of the entrepreneurs in Santee, mover shaker, making a lot of stuff happen in Santee and across the county. But he literally, his home's in Santee. His family's in Santee. One of his offices, his main office, is now in Santee. He's done a lot of stuff for Santee. And I'm excited to be his friend because he's allowed me to connect and meet great people like you, John.
Well, thanks.
And, as we've learned over the years, we've got a lot of other people in common, but we never had an opportunity to meet until Kyle did that a few years ago for me before he even became the mayor. So you were on the board for how many years there on the city board?
Also known as a city council.
Well, also hashtag and pound sign, but, I got what you're saying.
Well, actually, I first ran for city council back in 2002. It was an interesting time. I actually beat an incumbent. Most people don't know that. And then on election day, I was ahead by 5 votes. And a week later, I was ahead by 9 votes. A recount happened, and because the other candidate called for a recount. And believe it or not, I picked up 2 votes in the recount. So
you won by 11.
I won by 11 votes, and I've been there ever since.
Wow. That's an amazing. That close.
That's
Really
close.
really hanging chads, right? I mean,
a lot of hanging chads.
And that happened, you said, in
2002.
2002. So that happened right after the Bush-Gore Chad count in 2000.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of jokes going on around about that one, too.
Wow. And you've been there ever since, and then you became the mayor?
In 2016. So it's been about 20 months.
Okay.
21 months almost.
So are you having fun?
You know what? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't having fun. This has been a great opportunity. The past mayor, Randy Vopel, was there for 16 years. He's now in the state assembly. It's nice having him up there because it's somebody I can call on. And I've had to call him a couple of times when we've had some issues that were going on up in the state and solicit some of his help. And so that's one reason why it's great having people coming from Santee and going to state government, because I don't know what it is, but we're a little bit more conservative, and I think we're a lot smarter in Santee than a lot of places, so they're able to help us out where they're kind of going crazy up there in Sacramento.
Can you imagine being up there every day in Sacramento in politics? Can you imagine
couldn't be there every day in Sacramento with politics.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. Now, real quickly, for those just tuning in and listening, again, this is Whissel Weekends, AM 1170. We've got the mayor of Santee, John Minto, but I always like to, point out what you've done in your past.
Oh.
So just real quickly, give us a rundown of your just kind of your life.
Well, it's a pretty simple life, actually. I grew up as, kind of poor. Parents, they divorced when I was about 11 years old, and we moved around an awful lot. But we mostly stayed in City Heights area of San Diego. And it wasn't until I got married in 1991 and had a double income and no kids, and my tax guy said, find a bigger house for a better write-off. And so we were driving around, and we came to Santee, and we found that house. And quite frankly, on the salary I was getting back then, I could barely afford it. But all these years later, it certainly has paid off. And I got involved in the community with a variety of different ways. One was with our Kiwanis Club out there, which is
Amazing group.
yeah, amazing group. And you know, they're like most service clubs, though, these days. They're struggling for membership. And I got to tell you, though, that's something that we ought to actually focus on at one point and promote.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you know, whether it's Kiwanis, Rotary, Optimus, or those types of
If you
clubs.
want to get involved in your community and meet people, that's the best way to do it.
Absolutely. So those people got me involved. I felt we needed to get some things going there. You know, the mayor left and went to the assembly, like I said, and I said, somebody's got to step up there, make sure that we keep this thing on the right track. And I had a lot of ideas, and you know, in the short 20 months there, I've got a lot of things started. And some people say, well, how come you haven't completed them yet? I said, because it's only been 20 months, and it is government.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do everything you want to do as quickly as you want to do it.
Yeah,
and we understand that.
Boy,
Now, you talked about 1991 getting married and barely having enough income. I know what you were doing in 1991. You want to share with everybody out there? What did you do most of your career, John?
Well, I spent 29 years on the San Diego Police Department.
Thank you, sir.
Very much.
I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
People don't appreciate our men and women of blue enough. We're starting to see people actually appreciate those that serve in the military. We have less than 1% of U.S. citizens now serve, and it takes a special person to be a police officer, just like it does to be, you know, be enlisted or even an officer of the military. And I just really want to thank you for doing that for all of us here in San Diego in 29 years. Wow.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what do you want to talk about first?
Let's we'll work up to the bigger stuff. So
Yeah,
let's
okay.
start with a softball. So let's start with the movie theater.
All right. Well, you know, it's kind of interesting because when I was on the show last year, I said, hey, we're going to break ground. We're going to get this movie theater in here. And, you know, in October of last year, we actually put out a bid, and we actually awarded that bid to a company. And, you know, time started dragging on, and we thought, well, they weren't really interested. We kept calling them. They said, well, you know, our developer's actually the one that's, you know, running this thing, the first position, have to talk to them. And you know what? That company never called us, never talked to us. So in about January, we started looking at our second company, and they do their own developing. And it's a company called Studio Movie Grill. And we asked them, are you still interested?
Because they were in backup position, really.
They were in backup position. So I tell you what, in like 5 days' time, we went from having one company to Studio Movie Grill. They started acting. Matter of fact, they gave us an earnest money deposit and said, okay, let's get this going. We, in less than 60 days, if I remember correctly, we had actually what they call an exclusive negotiating agreement, or ENA, and that's been signed off. Then we went to the next step. Now we're in what's known as the development agreement, and that's just about to be signed off. And I keep telling them, I want to break ground this year. And quite frankly, we're certainly not going to get any sticks up this year. But if we have that groundbreaking, I think people, for the first time in, 20 years, will really, really believe it. And for me, I'll really believe it too, because we're actually doing something that's very active towards putting up the theater. So it's coming. We're in better position now than we have ever been.
Well, that's amazing, because I still remember the AMC La Jolla, I love the AMC La Jolla now, but I remember the AMC Santee for many years. I remember seeing Silverado back in the 80s.
Oh, my gosh.
Right there in that AMC Santee. I have great memories of
You guys
many
about
movies.
to talk about like black and white movies and stuff
Yeah,
right now,
I mean,
Jason?
John and I are a
you
little bit
going
older
there?
than you, Kyle, but, you know, there's something I think special about a movie theater and seeing a movie. Like, it's great to be at home, and it's great to do certain stuff. And of course, you guys have the Santee Drive-In. I've seen many movies there, including a lot of the Rocky movies as a kid. But there's something special about Santee and the movie theaters, and I'm so excited to, you know, see that you guys are putting in a theater, at least working on getting that done, and hopefully you can again break ground. But I know for some millennials, I don't know. Do you go to the movies that much, Kyle?
We do, but it's different these days.
Okay.
So the traditional movie theater that you went to when the AMC was around, it's just not the same anymore. I mean, these days you can watch so many movies at home, and they make it, you know, to Netflix and to Amazon Prime and all that stuff so much faster that people are watching them in the comfort of their own home. They're not going just to see the movie anymore. Now they go for an experience.
Right.
So if it's just go grab some popcorn and a soda and sit down and watch a movie, you could do that at home. So it's all about the experience.
There's
now.
different popcorn at the movie theater. I even bought a couple different. I'm still trying to find that perfect, popcorn machine that makes it taste like the movie.
You know what? Actually, my wife was sick last week, and we did a movie night at the house, and I actually got the old school popcorn that comes in like a pan with a little handle on it,
right?
And put it on the stove
with
top,
with
and
a
it
certain
puffs
oil.
up.
All right.
And it
Jiffy
puffs
Pop
up.
type of thing. Yeah,
some Jiffy Pop. They still make that. It was pretty cool. It was nostalgic,
and it felt good, huh?
It was fun.
It tastes good.
Yeah, that was fun. So that was it's an experience. So everything is very experiential these days. I believe that's a word. If not, I just made it up. We'll add it on Urban Dictionary.
Put it into Wiki.
Yeah, we'll put it on there. But you go to the movie theaters now. We're big fans of the Lot. The Lot's our favorite movie theater because you go in there and there's a full restaurant, there's a bar, there's a coffee shop, and then there's the regular movie theater. But the movie theater is great because you could do dinner and a movie all in one.
Right.
So you could go in. And depending on our timing and stuff, sometimes we'll go and sit down and have a formal dinner before.
Is the food that good?
It is. It's gourmet. Like this isn't like popcorn and peanuts and that kind of crap.
Dogs,
this is
right?
legit.
Yeah.
Like you could get steak and you could get some halibut or some salmon. Like this is legit. So you could go to the restaurant side first. Or sometimes we'll go and grab a cocktail before the movie starts, and we'll go hop in the movie, and then sit down and order gourmet food to our seat. Get a cocktail, get a steak and fries.
I'm an old school guy. I just can't even. I can't even fathom that. It's just it's different.
You need to get out more.
That's what my wife wants me to do too. More date nights.
He's a creature of habits.
Exactly.
I'm definitely a creature of habits. So is my wife, as you know. But let me ask you. So, Mayor Minto, what do we have coming as a movie theater? What is it going to be? Something like that?
Well, I'm going to answer that with a couple of questions first. I know you shouldn't answer questions with questions, but I want to have some fun with that. Kyle, this theater you were talking about, where is that?
There's one in La Jolla. There's one in Liberty Station in Point Loma, and they just added one up in Orange County.
Okay, so the closest one is about between 17 and 20 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you maybe have to travel 30 minutes or more to get there, stand in line, do your thing.
Right.
Well, what if I told you get that same exact experience and you drive in less than 2 miles? Because I know where you live.
Yeah.
It's just right up the hill.
Literally up the hill.
Literally just up the hill. Less than 2 miles, and you have that same exact experience. What do you think about that?
Let's make it happen.
Wow.
So that's the type of theater we're going to have that Kyle
So that's what you guys
described.
are in talks with, huh?
That's what we're
amazing
doing.
type of theater. So
Those are the only theaters that are surviving right now. All the other theaters are shutting down, or they're completely gutting them and redoing them, like AMC La Jolla.
yeah, or like the bowling alleys. I mean, that's what happened. We had, there used to be all these bowling alleys when John and I grew up, and now there's almost no bowling alleys. I mean, there's only a handful in all of San Diego County, and when I was a kid in the 80s, we had at least 40 bowling alleys.
Sure. Well, La Mesa's going to be getting a new bowling alley.
Ooh, I love it.
Mesa. Wow.
Well, you've heard that that new brewery that they're going to put in over there.
I haven't.
Yes,
But let's
sir.
talk about that after the break, right, Kyle?
Yeah, let's take a quick little break. We're going to be back here in
wanna hear
just
that.
a minute talking with Mayor Minto, Mayor of Santee. You're listening to Whissel Weekends, AM 1170, The Answer.